I thought I'd give you a quick update on how this platform game creator editor on Mac terminal is going. So I thought it looked pretty good there, what I've done with it. I'll keep my camera on my face here and just use the pointer. I think it's a bit better. I hope you can see that. This what is the Mac terminal. It's a program that runs within the Mac terminal, like a Mac command thing. So what you've got is a situation with the program runs, and then it lets you edit a database, and the edit of the database basically lets you create some kind of a game database. That's how I've got it worked out so far. I haven't quite fished out what it is that should be in the database or what it is that would be left to someone else who's very clever, who can code and, you know, make it all work, and how much of it could be just put in a database and you could basically head into the database and just hack it around and make it work as you want, even try it, you know, as a game working. That's kind of what I'm playing with. But it takes a lot of, obviously it's a lot of skill to do it, to make something that just works without you even having to touch a line of code, you know. Anyway, enough waffle. Load the database up, please. That's my hypothetical Manic Miner Killer database going on there. These are the game's assets, like I've showed you. The man there, I think I showed you that before. It's got these frames. I've got a mode in here that basically lets you edit in like quad pixels, like in the ZX81 thing. So with that, I was able to draw, you know, these kind of cute looking walking animations. So walk left, walk right, and the actual kind of testing makes it use of these labels. So it will try to look for a walk right, it will try to look for a walk right too, it will try to look for these, right, depending on what is going on at the time in the game, in the testing part of it. So I'll show you without much more waffle. So I just press the 9 key to come out onto the assets again, and I'll pick the level entry cavern, and I'll pick my avatar there, which is the guy that I've just shown you, the sprite test. So then from here you can kind of see, here he is, right? It's just a Mac terminal, so it's not really going to be like a very, like, but there's many things you can do with it that are pretty impressive. This is a thing what I get people have missed out. For example, you can have characters that look pretty lush, like the old Commodore 64, ZX81 Spectrum. You can have these block characters in them with a Meslo font. You can actually do all this stuff nowadays, and you can take advantage of them in command console in command line application programs. You can use these things, and they're right there for you to use. And with cursors, this is written in cursors, which basically lets you access the entire screen pretty much like you would in a BBC Marker or whatever. You know, go to that position, change the color, just more or less talk at it as if it's an user-friendly, like, you know, 8-bit micro kind of thing, which is why it's very useful. You know, it's useful to learn to program. It's just no nonsense. It avoids all of the faff of Cocoa and Mac OS, all that kind of stuff. It just gets around that, and you code in C, and it's a great environment to learn on. So watch this anyway. I want to show you this. When I'm walking left and right, I've got those 2 frames of animations which it finds, and when it's the other ones, it doesn't do anything. It just goes like a neutral one. But watch what I've done here. It's really good. When I walk off the end of when I walk off the right, it will actually walk into the next frame and back, which I thought was pretty cool, you know, to be fair. Yeah, it's pretty, I mean, you know, I don't think that's too bad myself. You know, I reckon you could do some good games for this. If anybody's interested, I can show you how this stuff is, how it's working. It's not that hard to do. It's cursors, basically. It's all done in this thing called cursors. If I walk off down the bottom, then it obviously scrolls down towards the bottom thing. Yeah. Bit wacky stuff going on there. This isn't, by the way, this isn't a game. Well, this is like an editor, and this is the test mode. I don't know if you've seen the Professional Adventure Writer. You basically create a database, and that's what basically this is inspired by. It's not copied directly. I mean, copied is a bit of a nasty word, but it's like this would be like, I don't know if you remember, the Professional Adventure Writer had like a menu in it, and it lets you add vocabulary and add locations, and it's very much taken from that idea. Like, even if you go in the entry cabin, you can edit the cabin. It's all kind of inspired by that idea. Let's say, so here I can do connections. So from here I can go to that connection, like I'm editing locations in the Professional Adventure Writer. It's the same kind of ideas. It's just like creating adventures in a sense. But this doesn't actually make an adventure yet. It's just literally, it lets me just kind of test. You know, I can choose a player that I want to play in it. But that's about it. You know, I can move around. It knows what parts of it are things I can go through, and it kind of understands a little bit about how it should be trying to animate. I just hit my head there. But it's great because, I mean, if I wanted, for example, I could make an animation. I can make a sound effect for that. You know, the Mac actually lets you use sound effects as well from the command line. You can just use the Mac's audio just like with one function call. You can play a WAV file. So if I wanted to, I don't know if I could. I've still got something here that I might be able to show you. This is a bit more simple, right? Just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about. This is where it started from. Platform. Because I've got no friends, so I have to try and make some kind of friends with someone. And you guys, you know, you love all this stuff, don't you? As I do, as I grew up with it. So, since I have no friends, I have to imagine I have some. Let me kind of try a simple platform game. Yes, I'm in there. This thing is a Mac command console thing. Simple platform game. Right, I think I'm going 125. That's that. I'm not really all that good at this, by the way. I used to be a bit of a C programmer on Windows, and I just tried to learn the Unix environment a bit. Let's try, yeah, build, yeah, simple platform game, build, that one I think, yeah. Right, yeah. I guess so. I don't know really. Build. I think this one. Just bear with me. I think it's this one, yeah. Yep. That's it. Oh, I've done that. Right, simple. This is going to run it. I need to do this thing. I'll just output some log because it actually outputs logs. Otherwise, it won't work. That should run. Yeah, here we go. Right, this is what started it. To begin with, I just used a simple curses game that basically let you just move a character around. So here I think I can. I went too quick there. Let's try again. I think I can move this left to right. This also, I was trying to use curses. So I was trying to get together with curses and find out what curses can do. It's a bit of a thing there. This is a platform. Press any key. This is your man. Simple. I started writing the platform game, and then I kind of got stuck with it. This is where it's all come from. I left. P write. A speak. Q quit. Press on the key. This is land. You can walk on it. I can create. There isn't really land there. I can create another platform. Try and walk on it onto land. I forgot to put the land in. I guess so. I think. Yeah, so this is where it came from. This is also done in curses, but it's not as evolved as that. This is where it started from, because after a while I started thinking, well, how am I going to make a game? And it's got some kind of animation, isn't it? You know, trying to make it. This was before I learned about Unicode, so I was only using ASCII characters, nothing else, just ASCII characters. And I started feeling like, oh my god, this isn't going to be very interesting to look at. But this is why I started trying to really seriously write, learn Xcode and do Objective-C, and use cursors to try and make a game with cursors. I can go speak. Yeah, it's happening. But watch this. I want you to watch this. If you think this is going to be a really crass format, look at this. Going to be, watch. Just about here because the sound isn't very loud, but it made like a sound. You die. I'm afraid you have to press the key. I'm trying not to ask to press the key. So let me see if I can put the volume up so you can hear it a bit louder, hopefully. Okay. Yeah, I can hear that, I think. Show you quickly, Joe. Walk off. There's that. That's not bad, is it? It's kind of like, I think it's not that bad. And this isn't even with Unicode and Meslo font. This is just ASCII characters. I was doing that, and the Mac lets you have access to the sound system from, And I just then thought, well, how can I actually make a game that's actually going to be something I want to play and get involved in? So then I started making it more elaborate and add a database for levels, that kind of stuff, and started trying to make it so you could draw things rather than, because none of this is really drawn, is it? That's where it came from. The original way, it was just literally plotting on the screen, like where I'd plot, a dash here and a line here, and I thought this is going to be really awful to try and make a graphical looking game. How are you going to make anything that looks remotely interesting graphically? So that's why I was inspired to try and write the editor, and then I thought, oh, well, could it make the levels as well? And I thought, oh, okay. But I hope you can see, if you take all these ideas together, you've got something going. I don't know how people can overlook this format, because it's really, cursors is very, very powerful. The fact you can have Unicode characters with ZX81 type, Commodore 64, VIC-20 type, ZX Spectrum quad characters and all kinds of stuff, and sound effects. I think there's a lot going on there, Anyway, waffle.